Can I introduce you to a friend of mine? He's the only one who is there all of the time. If you ever need someone who cares, oh Jesus, He will answer your prayer. You have a
Let's go back. See what we got here. Melvin, good morning to you. Gordon, Georgia, Fort Gordon. My correction. The direction is Champaign, Illinois. Good morning to you. Tiffany, good morning to you. Sri Lanka, good morning to you. I can't pronounce your name, so I ain't gonna even bother to say it wrong. But good morning. You know who you are. Good morning to you. Tiffany, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I see it. ATL is in the building. I always look forward to your messages of inspiration as I struggle to find reasons to keep playing. This will definitely be the one for you. So, yeah, we're going to jump into it. I'm going to play a little bit more, give a few more people time to wake up. Dallas is in the building. Good morning to you, Zay. Anthony, good morning, man. Let's see here. Let's see how I want to do this. Alright, so let's try something different right there. Let's see if it'll let me do it. My computer is acting weird today. I'm gonna try it. Let's see here. See if it'll let me. See if that did right. I got some latency happening, so I might have to slide it over. Definitely latency. All right, give me a second here. All right, let's try that. I like that. Sorry about the sun, y'all. Can't hear it, right? All right. Check this out one more. Yeah, that sunrise is coming on through. I guess this time is getting ready to change, so it's affecting the view here. Good morning, Charles. See you, y'all. It's actually 18:10 o'clock. It's right. Good morning. Well, thank you. Let's see here. So Charles said, man, this track feels good, especially with the sun filling the studio. I'm talking about this sun is coming on through. The Lord wants his glory to be in here this morning, don't he? All right, let me see if I can change this. I'm having some issues right now. I would have issues right now with recording software. Good old technology. All right, I wanted to reharm this just slightly, just to play some different chord changes and a different approach to listening. If you like this song and you want to hear the actual song, it's on the Jermaine Morgan Band record, Dreams Work Reality. The name of this tune is You Have a Friend. So if you like what you hear, go over and purchase it if you will. All right. I didn't play this song just so you can go buy it. I don't know, this song was in my spirit today, so I wanted to play it for somebody. So. This morning. Hold on, let me loop a different section. Apologize for the technology giving me okie doke. All right. Moving on from that. How's everybody feeling this morning? Jermaine is the best of the best. Man, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Scotty. Let's see here. All right, I want to jump right into it. I don't want to take too much time up from you guys. I want to jump right into it. The title of this clearly is "Don't Stop Believing." I broke that up like I was gonna sing the song. Well, what is it? I'm butchering it. Hold on a second. I'm trying to remember the song. Sidetracked. I'm sorry. I was trying to remember the song. The Journey. Don't Stop Believing. Anyway, I found in this past few weeks or so, and I know this is for somebody, you can easily say just chorus, nothing more. Exactly. We don't need nothing else but the chorus. It's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get sidetracked. For you guys, and strictly for you who are on this musical journey, this bass journey, it's so easy to get sidetracked and to start losing faith, losing hope, and listening to the enemy within. The enemy in me. The enemy within, to start hearing those thoughts, that doubt and stuff in your mind, and start second guessing everything it is that you're trying to do. It's easy. It's easy, very easy to do. And it comes out of nowhere. If you're not careful, it comes out of nowhere. I found myself even as recently as last week and early part of this week's, being that it's just Tuesday, constantly warring off certain thoughts that have the tendency to want to set up shop in your head, in your mind, and want to just kind of take residence, if you will. And these things are just trying to limit what you've been saying you're going to do, or what you've been believing you're going to do. Some of you guys, if you don't already have this, get you a dream board or some type of, and what I mean by that, or some type of list where you can put down your hopes, your dreams, your goals, the things you're actually trying to accomplish. Get you something where you can write these things down, where you can see them, where you can remind yourself of where you're going. And everything you're trying to do, you have it before you, so you can constantly see it. Now when these thoughts come up, because they're going to come up, they come up with everybody might not admit it, but these thoughts of self-doubt in some area of what you're trying to accomplish, they come up, and you have to have something to keep you reminded of where it is you're trying to go, what it is you're working towards, so that you don't become cynical in the path, you don't lose hope. You don't, just start thinking it's a waste of time, that kind of thing. Some of you guys have been specifically at this bass guitar for a while, and you hit these walls in your playing. You feel like you're not moving forward, or it could be, for me, it's not my bass playing right now. It could be other things in your personal life, or other things in your business, or other things you're trying to do that you feel like you keep hitting these brick walls, these things that cause you to become cynical, and you start speaking negatively about what's going on or what you're trying to accomplish. And you have to be really, really, really careful with that, because you attract to you what comes out of your mouth. You start attracting that same thing to you. So if you start speaking, and I'm talking to myself, this ain't even for y'all. Y'all can just listen in on my conversation to myself. Because in this camera, I see me. So I'm talking to me. So don't even take none of this personal. But you have to be mindful of what you're saying, the negativity that you're feeding yourself, because the facts ain't always the facts. The facts are not always the facts. And somebody might be like, bro, that don't make no sense. The facts aren't always the facts. The information that's before you, the stuff that you're presented with, isn't always telling the full truth. Potential is always hidden. Potential is always hidden. Most people that you admire right now didn't start off great. Most people. Name almost anyone that you look up to, and I guarantee you, the reason you look up to them is because of their grind, their energy, their effort, what they constantly put out, what they constantly put into practice. One of the things this time last year, I started binge watching. I'm pretty sure, as most of the world did, for the first month after the passing of Kobe Bryant, and the others that were there on the plane, on the helicopter, not disregarding that at all, but for the point I'm making, I'm sure a lot of people start binge watching a lot of interviews, and I'll probably learn more about Kobe Bryant in this last year than I ever have in my life, because I'm not really a basketball fan like that. But after this tragedy, I found myself just studying and learning and watching video after video after video, and finding out about this guy's life and his work ethic. And I was just blown away. I had no idea. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why he was considered to be this and that. And of course, you can't talk about a Kobe Bryant without bringing up Michael Jordan. So obviously, I'm looking at the life and the lifestyle and the work ethic of both of these guys, and somewhat similar stories about how they started off, and how they weren't just, they weren't just child prodigies when they started. They had to work and work, and it was this tireless, relentless effort that they were putting forth in order to accomplish the goals that they were trying to accomplish, to become, the number one basketball player in the league or in the world, or whatever the case may be, or to, with Michael Jordan, to try to, to make the Bulls the respected team that it is now, or that it was when he was playing. The work that they put in, it was just this tireless effort that went forward. And you admire those people because they kept going. That's the point I'm getting to. We can name off so many different people who now have gone down in the history books as some substantial people in our lifetime or before our lifetime. But just some of the people that are in our lifetime, it's just amazing the effort, the work ethic that they put forth, and the effort as well, in order to accomplish some of the stuff that they were trying to accomplish. And I'm sure they had days just like us where they're like, you know what? This is for the birds. You can go kick rocks with all this stuff, because some days it just isn't there. And some days the negative thoughts seem like they overpower the positive ones we have, especially if there are no reinforcements. You have to learn how to become the guy in your corner with your thoughts, with the things that you reinforce your mind with. My mind, when I said that, my mind went immediately to the movie Rocky. My guy that was always come on, Rocky, can get, the old guy that was with him for most of his fights until he passed away in the movies, that is. But you always see this guy in your corner, this person that's pushing you on, telling you can do it, knock him out, you got to do this, you got to do that, and the one that gets in your collar. Well, the fact of the matter is, most of us don't have that guy. Most of us don't. If we be completely honest, a lot of times when we're pursuing that goal, we're pursuing that fight of our life, we don't have that guy in our corner, or at least it feels that way. It feels that way because you could very well have someone encouraging you, but it's not the same, especially when your thoughts are overriding the good stuff that you're hearing. And your self-perception is overriding everything positive that you're hearing. Self-perception is everything. You have to be able to have this relentless effort that you can. I told you guys before, I'm reading this book by Les Brown called You Gotta Be Hungry. Really, really interesting book. And one of the little passages I read this morning, I was going to read a whole chapter, but I over the last few years, I've been kind of not priding myself, but I've been trying to get my book reading game up. So I read a lot of books, and I would, try to get through a book a month, that kind of thing. I was doing that for a while, but one of the things I found, I'm like, it's hard for me to read a book and not try to apply it. So now I'm slowing down, not necessarily trying to build this big, vast library. I know I'll do that in time, but right now, as I'm reading, I read like this particular passage called Unshakable Faith. It was literally like 3 pages. And I read it, and I'm like, I could finish this whole chapter, but no, I think I'm going to sit on this for a minute, because he tells a story about him being married to Gladys Knight, not to give the whole book away, and him going to this radio station and trying to get this job that paid they didn't pay 7 figures. He negotiated 7 figures by having this unshakable faith in himself that he could accomplish it. His self-perception and his belief in himself got him opportunities that most people won't even hear of. Most people won't even know exist. Having that unshakable faith, and it's something that I even struggle with my own self, but it's something that I've also been aware of and I've been working towards. By having that unshakable faith, of course, obviously in God, but in yourself, meaning believing that you can actually do the thing that you're trying to do. You'll be surprised how many people believe for something, but they don't believe it's possible for them. They believe that it's possible to do, it's possible to accomplish, but they don't believe that it's possible for them to accomplish. And I just think that's so interesting. I think it's interesting, one, because I deal with it from time to time. And it's like you have to attack those thoughts in your mind. The other part of it is, how are you going to go for something and put your all in something if the end goal for you in your back part of your mind, the end goal says, I'm not going to ever get here? Why keep working? It's easy to take the route that most people take and be like, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to go do something that's safe, because chances are I'm not going to succeed at this thing. Just being completely honest. If you just got to that low point, and most of us have, and if you haven't, just keep living. It'll come. Most of us get to that low point, and that thought that's been in the recesses of your brain, it comes up. You didn't know it was there. Maybe you did know it was there. But if you're not dealing with it and fighting and killing that thing, it's just sitting there lying dormant, waiting for you to have a low moment. And as that low moment comes, that thought begins to rise up higher and higher. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I can't do this. I'm definitely not going to be able to do this. It's a wrap. I quit. And that's what happens with most people, even on this musical journey. If you're not 100% convinced that you're going to get it, I got one of my students, and this guy, his drive inspires me because he's convinced that he's going to get it. I know he gets frustrated from time to time, one of my one-on-one students. I know he gets frustrated from time to time, but the talk that I consistently hear, and I've been working with this guy probably for a year and some change now, almost a year and a half almost, and he's been growing, but the talk that consistently comes out of his mouth is that I know it's going to take a little time, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And lo and behold, he's making progress. He's making progress. I'm like, this is crazy. And at the same time, it's not crazy, because you have what you say. If you constantly confess, man, this is hard, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure that out. Well, you're going to have what you say, because as a man thinketh, so is he. It's a book that talks about that, but it's also taken from a proverb in, I think it's Proverbs 27, where it talks about, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever you start thinking about, you attract that thing to you. It's what they call it, the law of attraction. Some people think it's fairy tale stuff, but it's not so much that you have a magnet in your brain, but you are naturally drawn to the things that you think about. You're naturally drawn to that stuff that you think about. So what you fill your mind with, that's what it's drawn to you. Think about it. And even these algorithms have caught on to that. So much so to the point, obviously they're listening to our conversation. So just, if you don't believe me, do this when you get off of this live. Get close to your phone, or have your phone somewhere near you and start talking about something that you're interested in and see if you don't see an ad. Just trust me. See if you don't see an ad that pops up talking about that very thing. It's like, man, I could show go for some a nice steak right now, or some ice cream or something like that, and see it on an ad pop up showing you food. Almost the identical thing you were thinking about, that ad will pop up. It's been sometimes I've thought about something. I don't know how they're doing this. So whoever is running the internet out there, y'all need to chill out. Because I've thought about some stuff, thought about it, and I've seen an ad pop up for it or a video pop up about something I thought about. Like I don't know who out there doing the voodoo with the internet stuff, but y'all getting out of control. But my point is, they're even tapping in on the fact that you're attracting to you what you talk about. So if you're talking about negativity, watch how many negative videos show up in your feed. I think one of the things it's talking about when you get ready to purchase a certain car, you want a black Tahoe, just say. All of a sudden, you start seeing these black Tahoes everywhere. I think it's called your reticular activating system. You start seeing these, not that you weren't seeing them before, but now, because you've been talking about it and it's become part of your awareness, now everywhere you go, you see a black Tahoe. Almost to the point where you get to know it. It's like, man, there's one right there. There's another one right there. Man, look at that one. It's like they're everywhere. It's like they just all of a sudden come towards you. It's not so much that they are showing up out of nowhere. They've been there the whole time. But based on what you're thinking about, your attention is going towards that thing. So if you've been thinking about negativity, you can have negativity around you at all times, but you don't have to be drowning in negativity. It's all about your perception, what you focus on. The stuff is all there. It's a whole bunch of stuff in this room, but I'm focused on the camera. So even though all this other stuff is happening in here, I don't know what's happening. It might be some microscopic stuff that's happening. Good morning, Mama. It might be some microscopic stuff that's happening that I can't see, but if I start trying to focus in, like right now the sun is shining, so I can see a little piece of lint floating down there. But as long as I'm focused on this camera, I don't see that. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but as long as I keep my focus on the main thing, keeping the main thing, all of that other stuff, it's not that it disappears, but my focus is not on that. So now I have to be aware of what I'm placing my focus on, because all of these things affect my belief. All of these things affect my belief. So you have to be careful what you let into your system. You have to be careful who you let speak into your system. All of this stuff is your factory. It's processing all of this information. I'm aware of the TV shows that I watch. I like to binge YouTube. That's my downtime, YouTube and Instagram. And when I stop, because most of the time I'm going 100 miles per hour. When I actually stop, I'm scrolling my phone, or I'm on YouTube or Instagram. But I have to be mindful of how much I'm taking in and where that's pulling me to. Because I notice myself, I have the tendency to lean towards one thing or lean towards another thing. I start looking at something, then I look at another video, and before you know it, you go down this rabbit hole of like 10 videos. It's like, man, how did I get there? And then of course, YouTube, the algorithm, is suggesting more to you. So it's feeding you more. So just think about life and negativity as an algorithm. The more you think about these negative things, the more that algorithm of negativity is going to be suggested to you. Oh, you on a negative tip? Well, let me give you some more stuff. You see that? Oh, you forgot about that last week. Oh, you definitely failed in that area. Let me remind you of it. Oh, you remember when you was a kid? You did that same thing. So it just keeps coming, and that algorithm of your mind just keeps suggesting negativity to you until you get control. Clear your browsing history and start changing what you're looking at. Start changing what you're taking in. Start changing what you're feeding yourself. So now you start meditating on other things. If you have a Bible, if you read your Bible, start meditating on those things, the positive things. Start getting that negative stuff out of your head. Some people you can't talk to. Some folks just like to dump negative stuff on you, and that's all they want to talk about. It's like, no, I don't have time for that, because I'm not subscribed to what you're talking about. I know this problem is real. I know this problem exists, but I don't have to subscribe to it. There's a lot of channels on YouTube that show a lot of cool stuff. And there's a lot of channels on YouTube that show a lot of not cool stuff. I don't have to subscribe to any of it. I go through, and if I decide to subscribe to something, I subscribe to what I want to feed myself. I subscribe to those things I want to know more about. I subscribe to those things. That other stuff might show up in my feed, but I don't have to subscribe to it. Other videos might show up in my Facebook feed or in my Instagram feed, but I don't have to subscribe to it. And now with the social media apps, they've got to the point where you hit those little three dots and you can block people. Or you can, don't show me this anymore. I don't want to see this. I can mute this. There's certain people I've muted because I don't want to see their posts. It's some stuff that might be pulling me in a negative direction. And if I see it, I mute it. How much stuff have you muted in your life? Now that we get down to the nitty-gritty of what's causing this disbelief or the lack of belief in what it is you're trying to accomplish, you may need to mute some stuff. You may need to mute some people. You may need to mute you, the negative part of you. If you don't have anything good to say, you might need to be quiet. It's a quote by Les Brown. He says, sometimes you have to believe in other people's belief in you until your belief kicks in. So if all you can do is speak negative, maybe you need to be quiet and just listen. Start taking in some positive stuff. I get up in the mornings and I'm constantly listening to something inspirational, something spiritual, something motivational. Not because I lack motivation or I needed help getting up in the morning. No, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I want to keep my tank full. I don't want to wait till the empty hand come on and now I got to fill all the way back up. No, I want to put a couple of dollars in there and just keep it full. That way, I always got something there to pull from. And I'm not always having to start back over from the bottom and rebuild it. All right, so I want to read a few of these comments because if I don't, I'll be on here for another hour just trying to go through the comments. Let's go back. Okay. Important things. I see you're talking about some bass playing questions, and I don't know that I'll get to that today. So I do see your questions, but I don't know that I'll get to that today. But do search my channel. The very things you're looking for, I might have already did a video. Matter of fact, when I see the walking bass comment, I know I've done some videos on that. Steven, man, good morning to you. I see you, Floyd, and I see the comments about the fretboard. I'm currently learning my fretboard. I do know some of the chords, the shapes, and some of the arpeggio. I also know some of the chords. What do you recommend me to do after I learn the fretboard? I'll see if I can get to that, but I can't guarantee that. And again, some of you guys check my channel. I've put out tons of content. So some of the questions that I get asked here, I've actually did a full video on those particular questions or something close to those questions that can give you a little bit more insight than just me popping off something from the top of my head here. All right. Charles said my pop used to say, talk to me all day long about how hard it is, because if you are still talking, you haven't quit yet. Yeah, that's good. Matthew D, respect, dude. Thanks for some motivation and some good words. Absolutely. Your thinking is not physical. It's a spiritual confession that is not verbally spoken, but the thought process is still heard. That's good, Steve. Let me read that again. That was good. So your thinking is not physical. It's a spiritual confession that is not verbally spoken, but the thought process is still heard. Somebody needs to highlight that and copy that and put that. That's good, Steve. I like that. And let's see who it is. Fredin? Is that an illegal bass behind you? You said an illegal bass? Oh, you talking about the guitar? Negative thinking can kill your potential. Absolutely. I believe that all day long. Watch it from Brooklyn. Good morning, Brooklyn. A better tomorrow. You killed the motivation talk this morning. Thanks, man. Thank you. Again, I just try to get on here and I try to share according to something that I am either dealing with or things that I have dealt with because I know these things have the potential to take you out if you don't deal with them and you just keep. There are people I know who started on the musical journey and they got to a certain point and stopped. Or any journey. You don't have to just be musical. You started out with these ambitions. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you, I mean, and this is no shade. If you just wanted to learn just enough so you can just bump around and have fun, well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But if you decided you was going to learn this thing and you was going to really become good, but at somewhere along the way you stopped because you got discouraged, you need to reevaluate who did you start listening to? What did you start listening to? What thoughts did you start entertaining? And who told you you weren't good enough? That's a question to ask yourself. Who told you you weren't good enough? There are people that throughout my life, I think I have this natural thing for pushing people. It's probably annoying to some people that I personally know, but I have this natural thing for trying to push people that are close to me because I hate to see wasted potential. I hate to see wasted potential. I try to exercise and use every ounce of potential I have. There are probably some areas that I missed, but I hate to see people wasting their potential who are really, really good at something. So I have this, I don't know if it's a bad habit, but I do have this habit of naturally pushing people. That's just a natural trait that I have because it's like, why die with all of that? Why let the grave have that potential? Why send some more stuff into the ground? Why not manifest that thing? Why not allow all of us to see it? Imagine if I had went with my thought and not recorded certain songs that I had in my head because I was afraid of what people would feel. Oh, afraid of what people would say, what people would think. My peers, somewhat making fun of the song or asking me, why are you doing this? Or why are you recording that? Why are you singing? Why are why are you playing? Who told you you were good enough to record a bass album? Listening to all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? What if I had listened to these things and subscribed to the thoughts of everyone else as opposed to listening to the true self inside of me? You have several versions of yourself, but only one of them is true. So which one are you listening to? There's a negative version who's always running his mouth. I'm talking about always got something to say. That's not the correct version of you. You got to figure out which version of yourself you're going to listen to. So I decided a long time ago that I was going to trust, number one, the God that's in me. Number one. And then I decided I was going to trust the ideas and the thoughts that he placed inside of me. And I was going to move on. Regardless of if anybody else liked it or not. I was going to start trusting the ideas that I had and moving forward with these ideas. Because, I can't make you like what I say. I can't make you like the information that I give. I can't make you like the music that I create. But if I keep myself reminded as to why I'm doing what I'm doing, is there purpose behind it? Am I pursuing purpose or am I just pursuing money? Am I pursuing purpose or am I just trying to make somebody happy? Or trying to fit in, that kind of stuff. Once I started pursuing purpose, and that don't fully mean I know the reason behind every single thing. I know every detail of my life. That doesn't mean that. But once I made it a conscious decision, you know what? God, I'm seeking what you have for me, what you created me for. You created me and gave me unique gifts. You gave me unique desires. There are a lot of people that can play bass. There are a lot of people who are multi-instrumentalists. But there are not a lot of people named Jermaine Morgan who play bass and who's a multi-instrumentalist and who happens to like trucks and all kind of other random stuff and who happens to like this and who happens to like that. So you placed all of these different things in me. You placed me in this environment with these people, giving me this type of culture, placing me in this time. So why? Why am I here? Why do I have this? Why do I desire certain things? Why is, so I ask those questions and then I let my decisions lead me towards these answers and push me to see, okay, who am I here to affect? Positively. So how can we do that? How can we do that? All right, this is COVID. How can I positively affect people? I know that the grooves and motivation thing goes beyond this rectangle right here of this screen. And granted, I'm speaking to people all over the world, but there are people in my community who need to hear what I have to say. And that thought, that doubt that creeps up, what makes you think somebody want to hear what you got to say? it creeps up with everybody, not just me. It creeps up with you too. In your playing and in some of the decisions that you're not making to move forward. So even with COVID, I made a decision. I have something that I'm doing literally next week in my community where I'm going to speak and share and do this with people in the community because there's something that was burning in my heart to do it. And when those feelings come, you can make a decision. One or two things. You can either accept it or ignore it. When I was pondering the thought in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I can make this happen. But as I made my mind up to accept, all right, this is on my heart to do, the answers started coming. People started coming to mind who could possibly help me. So I reached out to somebody and told them what I was trying to do, what I wanted to do. Okay, absolutely. You can use my place. No problem. Whatever you need to do, I got you. It's almost that simple. We are literally, my brother has a saying, you're one person away from that person you need to meet or the person you need to get to, the person you need to contact. You're one person away most of the time, or you're one person away from getting this thing off of the ground that you need to do. But once you start accepting that you're going to do it, then your brain starts, like I said earlier, you start looking for the black Tahoe. You start locating the people that you need to locate. Once you accept that you're going to do this, you start locating the right people. Once I accepted that I was going to do my first album, I started locating the right musicians to play on it. I started locating people who were willing to help me. I'm like, when I did that record, it's like, I didn't really have a recording budget, but I had done so many favors for people over the years that people were like more than happy to do. Oh man, sure, yeah, I got you. Sweet, let's go. What are we waiting on? So I was able to get a lot of stuff done simply by accepting the idea that came to me rather than rejecting it, thinking that I couldn't pull it off. So let this be for you today. If you're in this limbo of, to the point that you're about to give up on whatever that thing is that you're trying to do because you think you don't have enough help, you think there's no way that you could pull it off, you think it might happen for somebody, but it's not going to happen for you, I want to encourage you to keep going. Stop listening to that. Turn it off. It's like cut that music down or cut it off. I encourage you to cut it off because if you cut it down, it's still there, it's still playing. So your subconscious is still picking it up. That negative talk, cut it off. Cut it all the way off. Don't keep listening to it. Turn the whole thing off. I'm talking about unplug the whole thing. I don't want to hear none of it. Cut the whole thing off. So that's what you have to do. If you're planning to go to that next level in your playing, cut the negative stuff off. Get on YouTube. If you can't afford lessons, I have people email me almost every week about, wanting to get help from me. And I think I've said this before. Most of the people that reach out to me are people on Facebook. But people that want to get help, quote unquote, from me. And I'm sitting here like, now, I put about how many free videos on YouTube? About 200 plus videos that are on YouTube and that are free, talking about this bass and just content in general. It's probably more than that. I gotta go look on YouTube to see how many. I gotta see how many videos that I got up here. But there are a lot of videos, there's a lot of bass lesson, free content. Not only me, but there are tons of great creators who are putting out great content. But for you to come to somebody and like, I want you to help me and I want you to do this. No, you want me to become responsible for the work that you won't do. That's what you want me to do. So you have a scapegoat to say, if I turn you down because I didn't have the time, you can say, well, I was trying to learn bass, but Jermaine Morgan wouldn't help me. That's what you're looking for, whoever you may be. If this don't apply to you, just do this right now. But I have people almost every week that hit me up and tell me they need me to help. They need me to help them because they're trying to do this and trying to do that. And I will say this without apology. A lot of people now have become lazy because we want to always have a scapegoat. We want to have somebody else to do the work for us. This stuff is hard. It's going to be hard to do. And so you have to be determined that you're going to see this all the way through. If you're trying to get to the level of all these different content creators and the people that you're seeing that's posting, or the people that you're seeing on the album credits, or the people that you're seeing on TV, all of these people have one thing in common. They put in the work. Period. They didn't email nobody going off about tabs and you're going too fast on this video. It's the stuff that I've received over the years about the content that I've created trying to help people, and it's a word I'm looking for. It won't come to me now. But just the idea of people that are sitting at home doing absolutely nothing but criticizing everything that you're doing, and entitled. There you go. The entitled people that sit and look at their computer and want you to do more to make their life easier. Now, you've already done the work. You've already learned the skill. You haven't mastered the skill, because I don't know if we ever will master the skill. But you've done the work, and you create the content and you put it out there way more than you ever had access to. Everybody that's probably in my age group, we had to get it the hard way. We didn't get to call Victor Wooten. We didn't get to call Marcus Miller. We didn't get to call any of these people or email them or send them a DM about the tab and the fact that they playing the song too fast. We had to sit and listen to it and get it. But now with the instant access, I know I'm on the soapbox right now, but now with the instant access, we make excuses. And I can't move off of this without addressing the fact that most of us now that are new to it, we make excuses as to why we're not growing, and that's like one of the main reasons you're not moving forward, because you're making excuses. You're making excuses. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call a spade. If you're not moving forward, check what you're doing, because again, going back to one of my students, the talk that he has, I know he has struggles, and there's stuff I correct him on every single week, but one of the things about it, his talk never changes. His talk, is I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna get this. That kind of thing. So as he's going through these lessons, as he's going through the hard part, he's constantly saying the right stuff to himself and not looking for scapegoats every week. He don't come to me, Jermaine, I couldn't figure this out because you didn't show me this last week. He's not doing that. And the thing I love about it is not only is he taking my monthly membership lessons and the private one-on-one lessons with me, but in between our lessons, he's hungry. He's looking for other material. He's looking for other information. So by the time he comes back to my lesson, he's asking me about this that he's been looking at. He's asking me about that, on top of working on the stuff that I gave him to work on. So that's the difference. That's the difference. You got some people who are waiting on me to put a lesson out. And if I didn't put a lesson out, or if I said something, or I didn't zoom in on my hands. You know what would really help us beginners? If you zoom in on your right or your left hand so we can better see what you're doing. And if you do this and you do that, that's what will really help us. No, I tell y'all, I have petty moments in my brain. I don't do it, but sometimes I'm thinking, no, what would help you if you actually practice? If you stop making excuses and actually start practicing. You know how to come in a little bit closer to your screen. You know how to turn it up a little bit louder if it's too soft. You know how to pause and rewind if you need to. Slide that little cursor back and go back and see what that person done, if you really want it bad enough. Now the question comes, all this tying into your belief, not to stop believing. The question comes, if you're not seeing the results you want, what are you doing? And what do you plan to do about it? All right. So let's go through some of these comments, and I'm gonna wrap this thing up, guys. All right. So Floyd Jermaine Collins, good morning to you. Who is that? Sagiri. If I'm saying that correctly, you sound like Victor Wooten. Well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Floyd said the reason that you you can drastically affect your skill level. When I use to play to fit in, I found myself only as good as I thought they wanted me to be. Oh, that's good. So when you try to fit in, you are only being as good as they expected for you to be, instead of maximizing your full potential each time you play. It's like And Floyd, I want to say this: being a musician and being one that plays on a team, there's a level of that does come in every scenario. You know when you're walking in, there is an expectation level, especially when you're playing with really, really good musicians. So there is something in your mind that you know you want to make sure that you're giving them exactly what they're expecting. But at the same time, you know, there's a saying that says, "Give more than what you're being paid for." Give more than what you're being paid for. So you know, if somebody is paying you to learn 3 songs, go ahead and ask, is there another song that y'all might do? Go ahead and go the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Do more than what you're being paid for. So you know, I'm gonna get there a little bit early. If the call time is at 8 o'clock, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get there at 7:30. 7:45 at the latest. Because I want to give them more than what I'm being paid for. So whatever that level that you've set for me, I want to always exceed that level. So that's a good point that you brought up, Floyd. So, you know, that you're not always just getting to whatever cap they set for you. Like, no, if they set the bar right here, I want to exceed that. I want to go higher than the bar you set. If I know the environment that I'm walking into, I know the area, I know the musicians that I'm dealing with, then I want to exceed your expectations of me. Not for you, but for me. It ain't about you, because your feelings could change. You could be fickle. I could come in there and kill, and you just don't like me. So I'm not trying to impress you. It's for me. I want to exceed what you expect for my sake, not for your sake. Because it's all about your self-perception. It's all about what you think about you, not what everybody else thinks. All right? So let's go back. That's a good point. Let me go back here. All right. So, come on now, this mom. Greetings from Cameroon. Danny Bass, good morning to you, man. Hey, man. It was that Jerry. He said, I'm practicing the major scale, the licks and runs. Good. Jermaine Collins, when I started, there was no YouTube. Man, listen, you better come on. That's Jermaine, you walking down my street. Once I started playing, because I love to play, it feels way more comfortable and easier playing. Learning is fun because I'm not thinking if they would like it or not. I got you. You're not thinking if they would like it or not. Good morning to you, Jerry. Is that Jerry? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's got with the H at the end. Good morning to you, man. Either way, Kenny says, greetings from Perry, Georgia. I always love the different perspectives. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great day. You too. MJ, how many hours should I practice per day to attain a professional level? Well, with my students, I generally ask them to try to put in at least 2 hours a day. And that's kind of like a minimum. I think that they told us this when we were in college. You want to put in at least 10 hours a week. At least 10 hours a week. Especially if you're getting started late in the game, you probably need to double that. If any way possible, and you're late in the game, you want to double that because it's going to take you twice the effort. So you want to put in at least 10 hours a week, and you want to make sure that 8 of those hours aren't goofing off. You want to have some type of structure in your practice routine. I'm not saying every single thing has to be structured because you don't want to get to the point where you don't enjoy the instrument. Have fun. Play the instrument as much as you can and listen to as much music as you can and try to attempt to play that music. That's the biggest thing I would say. Don't lose the joy for the instrument. That's the number one thing, because you can do all this practicing and all this stuff, but if you ever lose that joy for it, it don't mean anything. Because at any point you can put it down and be like, I'm good. So the main thing is to keep that joy for the instrument. But if you're behind in your learning, I would say at minimum 10 hours a week. That's 2 hours a day. You can break that into 30-minute sections or 15-minute sections. If you got a lot going on, you could do an hour in the morning, an hour at night, or you could, do 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, another 30 minutes. It's possible to get it done. It's all about if you want to do it or not, if you're serious about it. So, that's Monday through Friday, 10 hours a week, 2 hours a day. And again, if you want to raise the bar on it a little bit more, do it every day. You know what I'm saying? That's 14 hours a week if you do it every day. So 2 hours a day, 14 hours a week, 7 days a week. All right, it's possible. So let's see here. I love that, Jermaine. Appreciate it. Tiffany says preach. So anyway, y'all, that's the thoughts I wanted to share with you about believing. At the end of the day, mind your thoughts. Mind your thoughts. Because what you think about, you will attract it. Whether you're trying to or not, it's coming. T, what's going on? Any suggestions on how to palm mute? Any suggestions on the palm mute technique? My notes don't sound good on the D string. You're saying that, let's see here, just a palm, literally, I just kind of rest my hand there. But it all depends on what you're going for. You said a palm mute, you said palm mute. Sorry. Let me read your comment again. You said my notes don't sound good on the D and G string. What do you mean they don't sound good? And is that question connected? Is that the fact that the reason why you're wanting a palm mute technique because your notes don't sound good on the G and the D string? Because I don't know if muting is going to solve that. That just might be just the way you're approaching or the way that you're positioning your hands, or I don't know. Or you might need to change your strings. That could be a number of things. So I don't know if the palm mute is going to be the complete answer, but just muting, I just kind of rest my hands across, some with the bridge or that back, between that bridge and that back pickup. I just kind of rest my hand there. Of course, that completely changes your picking, how you pick on your right hand. Because if you normally play like this, and all of a sudden you're like this, it changes a little bit. So you should kind of be aware of that when you do change that, you might be using more of your thumb. But I don't know what you're going for exactly, so that's the thing. I don't fully have a clear understanding of what you're going for. But that might be a number of things. If your G and your D string in particular don't sound good, is it because it's ringing? You're letting the strings ring? You can do some stuff with your left hand that like deadens the string while you're playing. Like having kind of floating fingers. A lot of times my fingers, I've gotten so comfortable with it that I don't even think about it when I'm doing it. But a lot of times some of these fingers that are not being used are floating over the strings to kind of mute for me while I'm playing. So I'm not even thinking about muting with my right hand, because if I start palm muting, that's going to change up the sound completely of what it is I'm trying to play. This sound versus this can be completely different. Like once I start muting, it means the notes are going to be a lot shorter, and maybe I don't want those notes short. When I mute, I'm going to make those notes a lot shorter. So again, I don't know if that answered your question, but I'm not 100% sure what you're getting at with that. Jermaine says, I try to keep 3 or 4 songs in my back pocket just in case. I like to go the extra mile. You never know when you're going to be called upon during the gig. Yeah, you don't. So yeah, just practicing just in case, that always works as well. How to practice the modes meaningfully, or application of the modes in my play. Yeah, that's a loaded question, Ian. I would definitely say go check my channel for search modes. I've talked a lot about modes, and if you don't find anything from me, just search around YouTube, because that's a loaded question that I definitely can't answer. When you're talking about modes, it's a lot in that question, so it's not a quick 3-minute answer for that. You gotta do some research when you're talking about the modes. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. Hopefully this has been helpful to someone. I have to say this every single time. Oh, lest I forget, I said I was going to give away this strap. I randomly picked somebody who commented. A lot of people didn't go back and comment. A lot of folks didn't follow directions. I guess they didn't get to the end of the video. They didn't go back and comment on the actual video concerning the strap in terms of following directions. But at random, who I did pick, know your sound. This is your strap. So shoot me an email. Shoot me your mailing address, all that information in an email. You should have my email. I think you already have my email. You're on my mailing list. So shoot me an email. This is your strap. I'm going to shoot this to you. I almost forgot. But this is your strap. Steven, know your sound. All right. So congratulations. Y'all show him some love in the comments. for winning. I don't know if he's still on here, but y'all show him some love for winning his official SIT leather strap here. All right. So this is yours. I'm gonna send this to you. All right. So as well, guys, if you haven't picked up 10 Ways to Success, go ahead and grab that book. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Audible. What's the other one? I can't think of the little pad. Kindle. It's available on Kindle. So be sure to grab this. Add this to your library if you're a reader. And if you're not a reader, it might be a good time to become a reader. This is a very, very short book. You can literally probably read this in a week or a few days. It's a very short read, and I think it's some things in here that could definitely strike or hit a nerve with you for some things that you could be doing right now. Thanks for showing love to Stephen for the win. All right. So hopefully I covered everything for everybody this morning. Sorry I couldn't get to some of the other in-depth questions. Generally, Tuesday mornings is not a time I really deal with a lot of technical stuff as it relates to base. So I wanted to acknowledge the fact that you asked the question, but also redirect you to somewhere where you can actually get a better answer, where you can actually go back and rewind it. Because for me to kind of really dig into that here, I wouldn't have sufficient time to really do that. So be sure to check my channel. For those of you who ask certain questions concerning your playing, be sure to check my channel, and chances are I probably got the answer that you're looking for there. I got a lot of stuff. We have Jermaine Morgan TV season 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to say, I think it was 4 seasons that I did Jermaine Morgan TV, my little YouTube show. So I had a lot of lessons. I had a lot of stuff there. One of the seasons was more around interviews. I think that was either season 2 and 3, but there were still lessons in that. So there's a lot of content that's available for you guys to go dig through. If you're new to my channel, be sure to press that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you who've given this video a thumbs up. That stuff does help me in this crazy YouTube algorithm. So all of that love that you guys show, and for you people who share my videos, thank you so much. I've been seeing you on Facebook who've been sharing the videos. I really, really appreciate that. All of that stuff helps this channel to grow. It helps this algorithm to show that people are interested in the videos. Stay engaged with me. I'm going to be posting more content. More stuff is coming soon. And I appreciate you guys, again, for all the love. Any of the comments. Don't just watch a video. Say something. Like it. Let me know that you were there. I like trying to respond to you. If I don't get to respond to everybody, I try to at least heart it to let you know that I did see and I acknowledge your comment. I really appreciate it. I do read most of the comments. When I get notified, I try to read the comments, and a lot of this stuff is really, really encouraging. Unless you're just being shady, and it's still good because I take it and I take the meat and spit out the bones either way. Anyway, thank you guys for being a part of Grooves and Motivation this morning. I will see you on the next go around. Normally, I'm live every Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I appreciate you again for being here, and for you early risers, share it for somebody who get up a little later. Let them see it as well if it helped you. All right? I'll see you guys on the next go around. All right, peace.